Hello YouTube! So today we are bringing back a fan favorite series on the channel called Do These Valorant Tips and Tricks Actually Work? Today we're gonna be looking at the man, the myth, the legend himself, MrLowlander, the GOAT of Valorant tricks, tips, and everything educational. We're gonna look at his content and we're gonna test them out in game, if they work, if they don't work, what I have to say. Thank you again to MrLowlander for allowing me to do this, and if you guys want to see this stuff live, come on over to twitch.tv/eggwick. If you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel.
Welcome to another episode of the Valorant
I
Tips
love
and Tricks
MrLowlander.
series, a series where I show Valorant tips and tricks that you guys send to me. Let's start this video on Ascent with the simple but very effective Viper ultimate. Simply stand against this wall under heaven and cast your ulti. As you see, your ulti will cover the side and it will get a small part of heaven. The reason why
Wait, if it only covers a small part of heaven, does that mean the enemies that walk through this smoke, even though their feet are the only ones being touched by it, do they still get decayed? Doesn't make sense, but I think it does. Maybe it shows it in the video.
The reason why this one is good is because you could stand on this box and then you can see the feet of the enemy. A nice one way, and you could stand here the whole time because the bar doesn't go down from here. So if you ever stand in heaven, never trust the Viper.
I think they get decayed. Now, if you see your Viper doing something like this, I feel like a more traditional ult might be better. Just because they're being decayed as they enter onto sight from heaven already. Maybe the one way helps a lot. If I was on the Viper's team, I think I'd like a more traditional ult. But this is cool.
Now a very handy tip about the Harbor ultimate. As we know, your ulti will move forward when you cast it. But did you know that you can control the speed of your ultimate? When you cast it while walking forward, it will go faster than when you cast it while walking backwards.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Look at
Let's say you're slow pushing onto sight, or maybe you don't want it to go past a certain point. You walk backwards, cast it, and then walk up.
And the difference is pretty significant. When you walk forward while casting your ultimate, it doesn't only go faster, but it also goes further. So keep this in mind when using it. Did you know that you could wallbang through the satellite? I don't know why, but I never knew this was possible. You could ping and hope for a kill, or
okay, this one I knew from the old fracture.
And while we're standing over here, we probably all know that there's a gap in the roof on the defender spawn. Pretty nice for lineups, but when you are playing Jet, you could also look all the way to B entrance.
I know there's a gap because I use this for my fade stuff. This is pretty useful, but then at the same time, you need to have insane timing to catch someone like this.
A good one for sneaky peeky kills. About sneaky peeky kills, look at this clip from Tomato.
Well done.
I'm confused.
Oh, nice trick, but the big question, does it work? Is it possible to hide in a Yoru clone? Well, from Yoru's perspective, when you look opposite to the clone, it doesn't really work. But when you face the same way as the Yoru clone and look a little bit down, then you suddenly disappear a little bit.
Maybe in the heat of the moment you don't get it, but this to me looks a bit obvious. I'm not quite sure how this one worked out, because the guy is Sova, and with Sova, you have like long ass blonde hair, and Yoru's like black hair. Should the difference in color stand out immediately to your to the enemy? Probably because it's unexpected. Yeah, that's fair.
I would definitely not recommend to use this trick a lot, but maybe in some games you can try it for fun. A trick that you can use more often is this nice sage wall. Just not like that, more like this. To be honest, this wall is very hard to do, so
Grimmel? This looks like something Grimm has done in the past.
My friends. A wall that's less hard to do, but might be even more effective is this one. When you place a sage wall, often the enemies will just knife against the wall. But here's a way to counter it. When you are about to place your ability, just leave a small little gap. For the enemies, it looks pretty natural, so they just gonna knife it. But when they do, you can go for an easy headshot through the gap. And the good thing about this trick is that you can do it on any map. Well played.
I've seen Grimm do that too.
All the Harbor players out there, because I'm getting a lot of one-way smokes with Harbor lineups. But in my opinion, Harbor and one-way smokes don't really work together. The reason why one-way smokes are good is because when you see the legs of the enemies, you can shoot on the head. But with Harbor, of course, you can't do that because your smoke will block your bullets. So you need to control your recoil and aim at that small part over there. Probably not kill the enemies immediately, and they have time to react. So be careful with one-way smokes and Harbor. Fun fact,
agree.
Did you know that you could create a one-way anywhere you go with Omen? Simply use your smoke just above the ground and then peek. It's a very good trick, my friends. I mean, look at Raven.
That's actually pretty cool. It's also very situational. In this position, where else is he gonna smoke? Let's say you need to smoke off B main and you only have one smoke. I'd rather have the smoke go B main than go over here to go for the selfish play, you know?
And while we're talking about one-ways, let's do one more. This one is for Cypher. Go to this corner, aim at the dark bricks, and aim up till you match with the top of the roof. When you throw your cage, it will land on this small spot and you will create
Cypher
a little
players are
one-way.
wild.
Just be careful, don't stand over here, stand as far away as possible, because otherwise the enemies will be able to see you. During this tips and tricks sent by you series, I got a feeling that I'm giving more tricks than tips. So here's a tip for once. When you are playing Omen and you're about to cast your smoke, you can ping on the spot where your smoke is standing. It's a pretty handy feature to communicate with your teammates so they know exactly where you're gonna place your smokes. A thing you have to be careful of with Omen is that you cannot crouch while doing your shrouded steps. Also not your ultimate, sadly. While on the other hand, you have Cypher and he is able to crouch well in his camera. Perfect to go sneaky peeky like. Now let's do a Cypher fact. Did you know that you could activate your cage while in your camera? I don't know why, but I didn't know that.
Wait, do people not know this? I played early on and every Cypher player wasn't activating their smoke outside the camera. Every Cypher player puts out the cam, they use it to activate their smoke as well.
But you can do some cool tricks with this mechanic. On A side on Haven, place your cage in this corner, and when the barriers are going down, use your cam in A short and place a trap. Why is this setup good? Well, you can just chill in the corner, wait till the enemies push, activate your cage, and they most likely
this is like Acre.
And then it's time for a sneaky peeky tag and kill the enemies. A lot of people were sending this trick in, but I actually saw it in a video from Acre the dog. So credits to him. Also,
has anyone actually tried out his playstyle with Cypher? I'd assume that the more popular it gets, the worse the playstyle becomes because people actually check the smokes. Yes, but it only works 1 or 2 rounds.
Also, well played, Tomush.
Trial.
He got...
Yes.
One enemy.
He got hit though.
Yes.
One enemy.
As most of you guys know, I don't really like complicated lineups. I personally always forget them. So here's a simple one. With Sofa, simply shoot on the wall over there. It will give just enough info if the enemies are standing A long or not. This Astra play on Fracture is so simple but so effective. When you plant a spike in this corner over here, go back to A long. Place a star at the top left corner of the platform.
Oh, is this an Astra tech?
When you use your smoke, you create a perfect little one-way.
Oh, it is. It is Astra tech. I guess to be fair, in this situation, you can also do this with Omen. Probably with Brimstone. It might just be a bit harder.
Now a trick for all the chamber players out there. On Ascent, where you got an operator with chamber, a lot of people are placing the trap somewhere like this, then slowly peek, and when they see someone, teleport away. This is not the way to do it, because sometimes you walk a little too far, the enemies see you, and you get stuck behind the box. I've been in this situation a lot, my friends. But there's an easy fix. Simply place the first half of your teleporter over here, and the second one on the same spot, and now you can escape from wherever you are standing. While we are on Ascent, there's an easy race double jump.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh,
damn,
very good.
That's a raise mainstream.
This time for Yoru. Stand against the boat, aim at the corner of the tile, and place your clone down. The good thing about this clone is that when you activate it, it will stand still. This might fake enemies out when they are...
This one is actually Giga Chad brain, because people would expect that to at least slowly slide on the button. I used it once to get a 4K. Nice.
They see Yoru standing still, so they might shoot it. And when they do that, you just fling from another side and easy peasy kills. Did you ever notice that when you are playing Viper on B, you could either wall B and hole A side, or B and hole C side, including garage. So a big tip, when you are playing Viper, stand on B, and as soon as your team...
People play Viper on Haven? Isn't Viper really hard to play on Haven just because there are a lot of... Especially on attack. Rare, but yes? Oh.
Now let's talk about the cool Sage mechanic. On most spots on the rafters on Icebox, your Sage slow will look something like this. It will not cover a lot. I've
seen this in a How to Noodle video. I don't know why it does that. The slow orb.
An insane trick, and there's a lineup for this. Stand against the third line of this wall, and then match the arrow of your ability thing with the top of this pipe. It's very easy to do. I actually got this trick from How to Noodle, and he got it from Flat.
Look at that. It's so big. Like, it covers way too much space. Why would it cover more space than normal when you throw it a certain way?
And while we're on Icebox with Sage, did I ever show this wall over here? I'm really sorry, 35 episodes already. Sometimes I don't really remember if I showed the trick or not. Also, if you watch a lot of these episodes, feel free to subscribe. The goal is to get more subscribers than funny and cute kitten cat. But anyway, it's a
Valorant Mechanics 101. Wait, he didn't take any fall damage?
You will get a little bit of fall damage when you jump down. It's time for another chamber trick. When you are pushing C from garage, place your teleporter behind this box over here and your trap in the corner. corner.
Okay.
After that, plant where you normally would plant and go to C long. You're just in range for another teleporter, so place it down, hold the spike from here, and when the enemy spots you or you get smoked off, of course, teleport and kill them from a different angle.
That's actually pretty useful because if people are pushing in from C, they will hear you though. But if people are pushing in from like B link and you do the fattest rotate from C long into garage, I don't think they'd expect it, especially in a 1v1.
Wanna see this one in action? Look at the clip from Chris7.
They're standing.
Easy peasy, 1 versus 4, my friend. Very good job. Now a lineup for Fade. Stand in between these boxes over here. Aim in between the iron
Fade lineup!
and do a jumping octopus throw. It will land exactly on the pillar and spots if enemies are on B long or not. Just remember to do things with the info. If it doesn't spot anyone, take the orb for example. If the enemies are pushing C on Haven a lot, you could use this wall to counter it. Go to these boxes, jump and use your ability. From here you could easily look all the way to the orb. However, this wall is very situational. One you could use more often is this one on Pearl. If you place your ability over here, you have a sneaky spot to kill the enemies, and when they want to push B, they have to destroy 2 wall segments.
Okay, I feel like the problem with this one is that you give up too much space. Especially early on if you're walling it like this. Maybe if you know that there are a lot of people mid and you're on B site or something, then you wall this later down. But if this is early round and you're walling and you're holding this already, I feel like you're allowing too much time for enemies to like take this, push into spawn, or do whatever. That's just me though.
Especially good in eco rounds because destroying walls in eco rounds sucks. And while we're here, let's talk about...
As always, depends on the situation.
At the start of the round, stand in this corner and cast your wall so it goes through elbow. After that, stand on these boxes and match the arrow of your right click with the right corner of the roof. This lineup might sound a bit difficult, but it's actually pretty simple to remember. Your molly will land exactly on these boxes over here. So after you do this setup, go back to your team to be long, and then you can simply plant the spike on the best spot possible. This setup is especially good for the post plant, because in the post plant you have a nice little one-way. And this is it, my friends. I want to thank everyone for submitting their tricks. I hope you learned something, and I see you guys in the next.
What do you think was the most useful trick here? I feel like the one I really didn't know about was the Harbor ult, because I knew about it for Omen, I didn't know about it for Harbor. I don't know if it's the most useful one. This one is kind of insane. I mean, you just stop pushes from spawn like crazy.